Onda Nassau. Nada que ver.
Greetings, listeners. We back again on Onda Nassau, broadcasting for Juana de Castilla High School in Tordesillas, Valladolid. We are on Culo Asiento program with a fantastic team consisting of Maria, Álvaro, Irene and Maria speaking to you, and Elena, Nayala and Raquel in the technical team. We are delighted to welcome Niahm Ellen Sinclair, a native speaker with this school year. She comes from North Carolina. How are you, Niahm? We are very happy to get to know you better.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing well. I hope you are too.
We know that your parents are from different countries. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so I was born and raised in North Carolina in the United States, but my father is from Scotland. My mother is from Ireland. They met in Brussels in Belgium, where they were both working at the time before I was born, and then they moved to the US, and that's where I was born. But every year we would go and visit Ireland for Christmas and Scotland for New Year, so we were very connected with these places.
Who was your best friend in school and made your friendship special?
One thing that was really special is I went to high school with my little sister. She was 2 years younger than me, and when we were younger, of course, it was more 2 years seemed like a lot more time. But when we got to high school, we ended up doing a lot of stuff together, having similar friends, similar interests. So becoming best friends with my little sister in high school, that was really special. And still today, we have a great relationship.
In your everyday life, do you feel that you live in a mixture of cultures?
Definitely. So I teach languages in the US. I've taught English in France and Spain and Germany. My parents are from different cultures. I feel like there is a big mix of cultures, and every single one has just made my life better, because you learn so much more about yourself, about the world, about the people around you, if you're open to new experiences and new cultures.
How many brothers and sisters do you have? What memories do you have of each of their growing up?
I have one little sister. She's 26 now. She's a stand-up comedian in New York City. So she's living a very exciting life. And we were pretty close in age, so we did basically everything together growing up. And it's just great to have someone who had such a similar experience.
Where did you live during your childhood?
During my childhood, I lived in a small town called Conover, North Carolina. It's about the same population size as Tordesillas, maybe a little bit smaller. The biggest difference is you aren't really able to walk anywhere. So in Tordesillas, you're still able to go to cafes or a grocery store. In our town, everything is very far away from each other, so you needed a car to go anywhere.
What is your first sport do you practice?
In middle school, I practiced basketball and volleyball, and I was very bad at both of those. And then in high school, I ran what we call track and field, so that was a lot easier because you just have to run. You don't have to throw a ball or catch a ball or really be very good at it. But it was fun to be part of the team.
What was special to you from your childhood in general?
I had a great childhood. What was special is definitely my family. We still are very close. And just to grow up with that kind of support from parents, from teachers, I was very, very lucky.
Did you ever face any challenges or struggles during your school years?
Of course, yeah. My biggest challenge was math. I'm very, very bad at math. And my last year of high school, my school put me in what we call advanced placement calculus, which was not easy, but I actually think that having these difficult experiences and trying things that are hard is something very important to do while you're young, because you need to learn how to get back up if you fall down. You need to learn how to finish a difficult experience, become stronger from it. So I definitely learned a lot about hard work and also just being okay with when things don't work out.
What was your favorite thing to do in recess or breaks?
So during our breaks, during the winter breaks, we would always go back to Ireland and Scotland and visit family. During the summer breaks, North Carolina is beautiful in the summer. We would go swimming. We're very close to the mountains, which are just gorgeous. We have beaches that you can visit as well. So we spent a lot of time outside during the summer breaks.
How did you usually prepare for exams or bigger tests?
I am an over-preparer, so I would study hours and hours and hours. Because I teach languages, people ask, what's the shortcut? Like, how do you learn a language quickly? And the answer is you just have to sit down and study. I would sit there either with a book or computer for hours and often stay up very, very late preparing for exams, which in university was a very regular occurrence. Yeah, so when we were in school, we had 2 school trips. The first one was to the Outer Banks, which is the beaches of North Carolina. They're gorgeous. They've got the wild horses, and it's usually very quiet, relaxing. And then we also went to Washington, D.C., which is our country's capital, of course. And we got to see how our government works, see some important monuments. I think that's a great experience for any student to be aware of these kind of places and processes in your country and to be an active participant in your government's process.
What was excited you the most as a teenager?
Even as a teenager, I'd say the thing I was most excited about was travel. So when I was in high school, I had amazing opportunities to go for a couple of weeks in France and visit schools there, and we would also travel quite a bit as a family. So I was very fortunate to learn how to travel very young so that I was confident and excited to do it as an adult as well.
¿Eres una persona inquieta? Entonces este es tu sitio. En el programa Culo de Mal Asiento nos encantan las entrevistas a personas que podemos ver y tocar. Súbete a la onda. Onda Nassau. Nada que ver.
If there was a club, I was probably a part of it. As a young child, did Irish dancing. In high school, I didn't do as many artistic clubs. We had a lot of clubs that were involved in community service, so trying to get students into the community and helping people. Those were really great to be a part of. And we also had clubs to get students civically involved, so knowing their local political processes and interacting with local governments. We also, we had fun things like prom committee, spirit club, the kind of things you see in American movies. They do exist, and they're a lot of fun and a great way to get students involved in their schools. And then, of course, there were sports, which, again, were a big time commitment. American sports and schools, 5 days a week. You're at the school until at least 5 p.m. practicing your sports. So it's also a great way to stay active and be a part of a team.
Did you have a teacher who inspired you or made a big impact of your life?
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't always very good at speaking languages. It's something that I had to work really hard to learn. And so I did have one language teacher in high school who just found a way to make it so interesting and show us how we could actually use it in our lives. And I think that having her as a teacher probably changed the career that I chose as well.
What kind of a student were you? Yet, throwing, or somewhere in between?
I would say somewhere in between. I went to a very small high school, so everybody knew each other. My graduating class, we were 20 students. It was magnet high school, so part of the public schools, but it was based on project-based learning. So we did a lot of our own investigation. In high school, I think I was just very hardworking because in the US, to get into a university, you have to have good grades, you have to do the extracurricular activities, you have to do well on the exams, and that was always something that was very important to me.
If you could go back, is there anything you would do different during the school years?
I had great school years, so I wouldn't change a lot. I would maybe take some more time to relax a little bit because it is a very stressful experience to be a high school student in the US. But on the other hand, I'm glad I had that experience because I think it makes me more compassionate with my students now to realize what they're going through and to remember that experience and try to be there to support them in whatever way I can.
Well, we have to finish. Thank you, Niamh, for this time with us.
Thank you for having me.
We are Maria, Irene, Álvaro and Maria in voiceover and Elena, Nayala and Raquel on the technical team. You can find very interesting content from Onda Nassau on Spotify, ebooks and on networks such as Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, where we hope to find your comments and opinions. Thank you for being here with us and see you soon.
Onda Nassau. Nada que ver.
Onda Nassau, una radio para todos los gustos y todas las edades. Radio podcast, Onda Nassau. ¿Que no sabes qué hacer en tu tiempo libre? Onda Nassau. ¿Estás buscando historia, ciencia, ficciones sonoras, entrevistas, risas, descubrimientos, deporte, naturaleza, música y mucha diversión en una sola radio? Onda Nassau. Nada que ver. Onda Nassau. Nada que ver.